A lot of riders learn this lesson too late. The most expensive cruiser in the parking lot usually isn't the one that lasts the longest. Meanwhile, some old Japanese bikes people ignore every day are quietly crossing 100,000 miles with almost nothing more than oil changes and basic care. Today, we're counting down 15 Japanese cruisers that refuse to die, cost shockingly little used, and still make some newer bikes look fragile. And somewhere near the top of this list is a motorcycle most riders completely underestimated. Number 15, Suzuki Intruder 800. The Suzuki Intruder 800 is proof that a motorcycle does not need massive horsepower, luxury touring gadgets, or cult status to earn a legendary reputation. Sometimes it just needs to keep showing up, year after year, mile after mile. Powered by an 805 cubic centimeters liquid-cooled V-twin, the Intruder 800 was engineered with a remarkably conservative philosophy. Low engine stress, usable torque, and mechanical simplicity designed to survive real ownership. That formula worked. Owners routinely report these machines pushing past 60,000, 80,000, even 100,000 miles without major engine surgery, often needing little more than oil changes, valve inspections, and the occasional carburetor cleanup. A huge part of that durability story comes from the shaft drive. No chain mess, no constant adjustments, no endless spending on sprockets and replacement hardware. Just smooth, predictable power delivery and fewer maintenance headaches sitting between you and the next ride. And compared with many older Harley cruisers living in the same used price neighborhood, the Suzuki usually asks far less from your wallet. Lower service costs, fewer age-related mechanical dramas, cheaper parts, less downtime. Today, clean Intruder 800s typically sell between roughly $1,500 and $4,000 depending on condition, making them one of the strongest bargains hiding in the Japanese cruiser world. Now, if you grew up around motorcycles that just kept running no matter how badly life beat on them, drop a hype down below. That support genuinely helps us keep making videos for riders who still care about durability more than marketing buzzwords. And if the Intruder mastered affordable durability through sheer simplicity, Yamaha's next machine took that same philosophy and turned it into something riders still talk about decades later. Number 14, Yamaha Virago 750 and 1100. The Yamaha Virago never needed flashy styling or massive horsepower to earn respect. Instead, it earned something far more valuable, trust. Because while other cruisers faded away with time, the Virago quietly kept doing what it always did best, starting every morning and eating miles without complaint. Powered by Yamaha's famously durable air-cooled V-twin engines, the Virago 750 and 1100 became known for mechanical simplicity and astonishing longevity. With low compression tuning, sturdy internal components, and a dependable shaft drive, these motorcycles regularly survive well beyond 70,000 or even 100,000 miles with routine servicing alone. And that shaft drive matters. No greasy chains, no constant adjustments, just smooth cruising and fewer ownership headaches over the long haul. Yes, older Viragos can develop starter clutch issues, and neglected carburetors sometimes need attention. But unlike catastrophic engine failures, these problems are usually manageable and well understood by mechanics. Today, clean used Viragos remain shockingly affordable while delivering reliability many newer motorcycles struggle to match. And somehow, that old Yamaha simplicity still creates fiercely loyal owners decades later. But as reliable as it was, riders eventually wanted something less quirky, less vintage feeling, and easier to live with every single day. That demand is exactly what opened the door for the next chapter in Yamaha's cruiser evolution, a bike built to keep the same bulletproof mindset while simplifying almost everything around it. Number 13, Yamaha V-Star 650. The Yamaha V-Star 650 did not become legendary because it was fast. It became legendary because it was dependable in a way modern motorcycles rarely are. This is the kind of cruiser riders buy for a season, then somehow keep for the next 15 years. Powered by a 649 cubic centimeters air-cooled V-twin, the V-Star was engineered around simplicity instead of excess. The engine is lightly stressed, easy to maintain, and paired with one of the greatest long-term ownership advantages a cruiser can have, a shaft drive. That means no messy chain maintenance, no constant adjustments, and far fewer expenses piling up over time. And the payoff is obvious. Owners regularly push these motorcycles beyond 50,000, 70,000, even 100,000 miles with remarkably few serious mechanical problems. Even today, the V-Star remains one of the strongest bargains in motorcycling. Clean used examples commonly sell between roughly $2,000 and $4,500, delivering reliability that many far more expensive cruisers struggle to match. Sure, older bikes may need carburetor cleaning or occasional starter repairs, but catastrophic failures? Rare. And since we've just talked about a few bikes that owners swear they'll never sell, and honestly, that tells you everything. So let us know in the comments, what's the highest mileage Japanese cruiser you've personally seen still running strong? Some of these stories are crazier than the bikes themselves. And up next, Honda is about to answer with something even smoother, more refined, and almost impossible to wear out. Number 12. Honda Shadow 750. The Honda Shadow 750 earned its reputation the old-fashioned way by surviving almost everything riders threw at it. Rain, commutes, highway miles, years of neglect, beginner mistakes, cross-country trips. The Shadow just kept going. Powered by a 745cc liquid-cooled V-twin, this motorcycle was engineered with Honda's famously conservative approach to reliability. The engine is smooth, lightly stressed, and designed for long-term durability rather than aggressive performance numbers. And over time, that formula turned the Shadow into one of the most trusted cruisers ever built. Owners regularly report these bikes crossing 80,000, 100,000, even higher mileage figures with only routine maintenance and surprisingly few major mechanical failures. That matters, especially when many similarly priced Harley models often demand expensive repairs, electrical work, or constant tinkering just to stay roadworthy. Meanwhile, a clean used Shadow 750 can still be found for roughly $3,000 to $5,500, making it one of the smartest long-term buys in the cruiser world. Sure, older examples may need carburetor cleaning or minor electrical attention, but the engine itself famously hard to wear out. But not every rider stays satisfied with middleweight power forever. Eventually, some wanted more road presence, more long-distance comfort, and stronger highway torque without stepping into the expensive world of heavyweight American cruisers. That gap is exactly where the next machine built its reputation. Number 11. Kawasaki Vulcan 900. The Kawasaki Vulcan 900 never needed a giant reputation to become a great motorcycle. It earned loyalty the quieter way by being ridiculously easy to live with. Powered by a 903 cubic centimeters liquid-cooled V-twin, the Vulcan was engineered for smooth cruising, relaxed highway riding, and long-term durability instead of aggressive performance. Kawasaki kept the engine tuning conservative, reduced internal stress, and paired it with fuel injection that eliminated many of the maintenance headaches older cruisers still struggle with today. And over time, that approach paid off in a massive way. Owners regularly report these motorcycles crossing 70,000, 90,000, even 100,000 miles with little more than routine servicing. Another major advantage is the belt drive system. No greasy chain maintenance, no constant adjustments, and far lower long-term upkeep costs compared to many traditional cruisers. Even better, clean used Vulcan 900s still remain surprisingly affordable, usually landing somewhere between $3,500 and $6,000, depending on mileage and condition. Sure, older examples can develop occasional stator or electrical issues, but major engine failures? Rare. And that dependable, low-drama ownership experience is exactly why so many riders keep these bikes for years longer than they originally planned. By this point, you probably noticed something interesting. The bikes with the strongest reputations usually aren't the most expensive ones. So tell us in the comments, would you rather own a newer, high-tech cruiser or an older, bulletproof machine you know will still start 20 years from now? And if these kinds of deep dives are your thing, subscribe so we can keep building bigger countdowns like this. The Shadow 750 mastered the art of stress-free ownership. It's the kind of motorcycle people buy intending to upgrade later, then somehow keep for 15 years. But not every rider stays satisfied with middleweight power forever. Eventually, some wanted more road presence, more long-distance comfort, and stronger highway torque without stepping into the expensive world of heavyweight American cruisers. That gap is exactly where the next machine built its reputation. Number 10. Suzuki Boulevard C50. The Suzuki Boulevard C50 became popular for a very simple reason. It almost never creates ownership, headaches, while some cruisers constantly demand repairs, upgrades, or expensive maintenance. The C50 quietly built a reputation as one of the most dependable long-distance cruisers Japan ever produced. And riders noticed. Powered by an 805 cubic centimeters, liquid-cooled V-twin, the Boulevard C50 was engineered for smooth torque, relaxed cruising, and low mechanical stress. Suzuki avoided chasing huge horsepower numbers and instead focused on durability, cooler operating temperatures, and long-term reliability. That strategy worked brilliantly. Owners regularly report these motorcycles reaching 70,000, 90,000, even well beyond 100,000 miles with only basic servicing and remarkably few major failures. And one feature owners especially love is the shaft drive. No chain cleaning, no constant adjustments, no replacing sprockets every few seasons. That alone makes long-term ownership dramatically cheaper than many comparable cruisers. Today, clean Boulevard C50 models usually sell between roughly $3,000 and $5,500 depending on condition and mileage, making them one of the best bargains in the used cruiser market. But traditional styling isn't everyone's idea of cool anymore. Some riders wanted the same Japanese reliability in something leaner, raw, and more stripped down. A bike that felt less like a retirement cruiser and more like a machine built for customization and everyday abuse. That shift in mindset is exactly why the spotlight moves to the next machine. Number 9. Yamaha Bolt. The Yamaha Bolt feels like the kind of motorcycle that should have disappeared years ago. No giant touchscreens, no overloaded electronics, no luxury touring gimmicks trying to turn a cruiser into a spaceship. Just an honest machine built around one simple idea: give riders something they can trust for the long haul. And that philosophy is exactly why the Bolt quietly became one of the most respected modern Japanese cruisers on the used market. At the heart of the bike sits Yamaha's 942 cubic centimeters air-cooled V-twin, an engine praised for its mechanical simplicity and low-stress design. Instead of squeezing out extreme horsepower, Yamaha tuned the Bolt for strong low-end torque, predictable throttle response, and everyday durability. That approach keeps internal temperatures lower, reduces long-term wear, and helps the engine stay healthy long after many modern cruisers start becoming expensive headaches. And owners noticed. It's common to find Bolt riders reporting 60,000, 80,000, even 100,000 miles with little more than routine oil changes, belt inspections, and basic servicing. The fuel injection system is dependable, cold starts are easy, and the overall platform avoids much of the complicated technology that often turns aging motorcycles into financial nightmares. But what really helped the Bolt build such a loyal following is its cost of ownership. Compared to similarly priced Harley-Davidson Sportsters or Iron models, the Yamaha is usually far cheaper to live with over time. Maintenance bills stay lower, replacement parts are more affordable, and owners rarely deal with the constant vibration-related issues that can slowly wear down older American V-twins. The Bolt simply earned a reputation for showing up, firing instantly, and doing its job without drama. Used prices usually fall between roughly $4,000 and $7,000 depending on mileage and condition, making it one of the best values in the modern cruiser world. But eventually, even die-hard minimalist riders started wanting something. The old-school air-cooled formula couldn't fully deliver. More power, smarter technology, and serious long-distance capability without sacrificing Japanese reliability. That growing demand pushed the next generation of cruisers into completely new territory. And Honda responded with a machine that changed what affordable dependability could. Number 8. Honda Rebel 1100. The Honda Rebel 1100 proves that modern technology doesn't have to mean fragile engineering. While many riders hear words like ride modes, electronics, and automatic transmissions and immediately think expensive future repairs, Honda took a completely different path with the Rebel. They built a cruiser that feels advanced without sacrificing the long-term durability riders actually care about. At the center of the bike sits a 1,084 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine derived from Honda's legendary Africa Twin platform, an engine originally designed to survive punishing adventure riding and serious long-distance mileage. Inside the Rebel, that same power plant operates under far less stress. which dramatically improves longevity. Liquid cooling, smooth fuel injection, and relaxed highway RPMs all help reduce long-term wear, and riders are already seeing the results. Many owners are reporting 40,000 to 60,000 miles, with little more than routine servicing and basic maintenance. Compared to similarly priced Harley cruisers, the Rebel is typically cheaper to maintain, more fuel efficient, and far less likely to develop major mechanical headaches as mileage climbs. Used Rebel 1100s currently sell for roughly $7,500 to $10,000 depending on trim and mileage. But for some reason, all that sophistication raises a different question. What happens 20 years from now when electronics age and software becomes part of ownership? That concern is exactly why many long-term cruiser fans still drift toward the next kind of machine. The kind built around pure mechanical simplicity, massive durability, and an engine that barely feels stressed no matter how many miles pile on. Number 7. Yamaha V-Star 1100. The Yamaha V-Star 1100 never needed flash or attention to earn its reputation. This is the kind of motorcycle that wins riders over slowly, mile after mile, year after year, until one day you realize it simply refuses to quit. At the heart of the bike sits a 1,063 cubic centimeters air-cooled V-twin built around low-stress engineering and old-school mechanical simplicity. Yamaha tuned the engine for smooth torque and relaxed cruising rather than aggressive horsepower numbers, which dramatically reduces long-term wear. That decision became the secret behind the V-Star's incredible durability, and riders push these bikes hard. Many owners report 80,000, 100,000, even well beyond that, with little more than oil changes, valve servicing, and basic maintenance. The shaft drive makes ownership even easier by eliminating constant chain adjustments and reducing long-term upkeep costs. What really shocks many riders is the value. Clean used V-Star 1100s regularly sell between roughly $3,000 and $6,000, incredibly affordable for a cruiser with this kind of longevity. But eventually, you might hit a wall where simple starts feeling a little too small for endless highway miles. They wanted the same long-haul reliability wrapped in something bigger, heavier, and far more commanding on the open road. That appetite for serious displacement is exactly what pushed attention toward Honda's next heavyweight answer. Number 6. Honda VTX 1300. The Honda VTX 1300 is what happens when a manufacturer builds a big cruiser without forgetting the word dependability. Because normally, motorcycles this large come with compromises, expensive repairs, constant maintenance, and enough vibration to slowly rattle parts loose over time. But Honda engineered the VTX with a completely different mindset. This machine was built to last. At the center of the bike sits a 1,312 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled V-twin designed around low RPM torque and long-term durability rather than aggressive performance numbers. The engine feels relaxed almost all the time, which dramatically reduces internal stress and helps explain why so many VTX owners report reaching 100,000 miles or more without major engine work. The shaft drive only strengthens that reputation by eliminating constant chain maintenance and reducing long-term ownership costs even further. Compared to similarly priced Harley cruisers, the VTX usually feels smoother, cheaper to maintain, and far less demanding as the miles pile on. Replacement parts remain easy to find. Aftermarket support is massive, and serious engine failures are remarkably uncommon. What makes the VTX even more impressive is its value. Clean used examples often sell between roughly $3,500 and $7,000. Shockingly affordable for a cruiser this large and this dependable. The VTX 1300 earned rider loyalty because it delivers big twin presence without the constant mechanical drama many heavyweight cruisers become famous for. But not every rider wanted muscle alone. Some were searching for something built less like a hot rod and more like a mile-devouring highway machine. Softer suspension, roomier ergonomics, and the kind of comfort that makes 8-hour rides feel routine. That demand for effortless touring is exactly where the next machine carved out its reputation. Number 5. Kawasaki Vulcan 1500 and 1600. There's something almost funny about the Kawasaki Vulcan 1500 and 1600 because motorcycles this big are supposed to be dramatic. They are supposed to be expensive, temperamental, the kind of heavyweight cruisers that slowly punish their owners with endless repairs, mysterious problems, and maintenance bills that make you question your life choices. But Kawasaki quietly flipped the script. Instead of building a giant cruiser that became harder to live with over time, they built one that simply settled in for the long haul. At the heart of these machines sits a massive liquid-cooled V-twin platform, first the torque, heavy 1500, later the smoother, more refined 1600. But speed was never the obsession here. Kawasaki engineered these motorcycles for relaxed highway rhythm, low engine strain, and mile after mile of effortless cruising. Add the shaft drive into the equation, and ownership becomes refreshingly uncomplicated. No messy chain maintenance, no endless tinkering, just dependable motion. Talk to long-term owners, and a pattern appears fast. These motorcycles seem to age with unusual dignity, massive mileage, minimal drama, real trust. Today, clean Vulcan 1500s usually sell between $3,000 and $5,500, while cleaner 1600s often range closer to $6,000 or slightly more depending on condition. The Vulcan 1500 and 1600 earned respect by delivering heavyweight comfort without heavyweight repair bills. They're smooth, relaxed, and built to swallow highway miles for years. But for some riders, all that liquid-cooled refinement starts to feel almost too civilized. They still wanted durability and long-distance comfort, just with more mechanical heartbeat, more old-school character, and the kind of giant air-cooled V-twin presence that shakes the ground at idle. And that craving points directly toward Yamaha's next heavyweight. Number 4. Yamaha Roadstar 1600 and 1700. Some motorcycles try very hard to feel timeless. The Yamaha Roadstar 1600 and 1700 never had to try. These machines earned their reputation the old-fashioned way, by showing up, firing up, and stacking impossible miles, while flashier cruisers slowly disappeared into repair shops and forgotten garages. At the center sits a giant air-cooled pushrod V-twin built around one philosophy: effortless torque, not unnecessary drama. Yamaha tuned these engines to cruise with ease, barely breaking a sweat on long highway stretches. Low engine stress, relaxed operating speeds, and wonderfully simple engineering helped create a motorcycle many owners swear borders on unstoppable. Spend enough time around Roadstar riders and you start hearing stories that sound almost exaggerated. Mile counts creeping well beyond 100,000, sometimes pushing far beyond that with little more than routine upkeep. And here is where things become genuinely shocking. Today, clean Roadstar 1600s often change hands for roughly $3,500 to $7,000, while newer 1700 models usually land somewhere between $5,000 and $9,000. For a heavyweight cruiser, this comfortable, this charismatic, and this stubbornly dependable, that feels almost unfair. Sure, older carbureted models may occasionally ask for tuning. Neglected examples can show wear and fork seals, sometimes remind you that time catches everyone. But long-term owners rarely tell horror stories. They tell loyalty stories. The motorcycle they trusted, the one that never quit, the one they wish they had never sold. But traditional cruiser styling doesn't hook every rider anymore. Some wanted the same Japanese dependability wrapped inside something lower, longer, and far more aggressive looking without inheriting the maintenance nightmares that usually come with custom choppers. That exact contradiction is what makes the next machine so unusual. Number 3. Honda Fury. Some motorcycles spend their entire lives trying to look unforgettable. The Honda Fury never had that problem. Long, low, stretched out, and carrying the kind of factory-built chopper attitude that makes people stop at gas stations just to stare, the Fury looks like the sort of motorcycle that should come with endless headaches and expensive surprises. Except this one quietly does the opposite. Because beneath all that custom bike swagger lives something far less dramatic: classic Honda durability. At the center sits a liquid-cooled 1,312 cubic centimeters V-twin engineered for relaxed torque rather than flashy performance numbers. That matters more than most riders realize. The engine never feels overworked, temperatures stay controlled and paired with Honda fuel injection. Plus a low-maintenance shaft drive, the Fury became famous for simply staying alive long after expectations fade. Owners regularly speak about mile counts, climbing into territory. Many custom-style cruisers never survive, while maintenance often feels surprisingly uneventful. And then comes the part almost nobody expects: value. Clean used examples frequently live between roughly $5,000 and $8,500, while newer low-mileage bikes still remain shockingly attainable for what feels like premium custom presence. The result feels almost unfair. Chopper styling without chopper drama. But eventually, style stops mattering as much as pure endurance. Some riders aren't chasing attention anymore. They're chasing distance, comfort, and the kind of durability that turns motorcycles into lifelong travel companions. And when the conversation shifts toward machines that can cross entire continents for decades, the next name becomes almost unavoidable. Number 2, Honda Goldwing. There are motorcycles people trust, and then there are motorcycles people build entire lives around. That is the Honda Goldwing. By the time many riders finally buy one, something has changed. The obsession with noise fades. The need to prove something disappears. Comfort matters more. Confidence matters more. And suddenly, a motorcycle that once looked excessive starts making perfect sense. Because the Goldwing was never engineered like an ordinary motorcycle. Honda treated it more like a long-distance luxury machine built for endless repetition. At its heart lives the legendary flat-six engine, a masterpiece of smoothness designed to run mile after mile without feeling strained. Heat stays balanced, vibration stays remarkably controlled, and highway miles feel almost effortless. Instead of screaming for attention, the engine settles into a calm rhythm that feels as though it could continue forever. And for many owners, it nearly does. The stories of 150,000, 200,000, even 300,000 miles are so common, they barely surprise seasoned Goldwing riders anymore. In long-distance touring circles, hearing someone call one just broken in at 100,000 miles hardly raises an eyebrow. And here comes the unbelievable part, value. Yes, modern Goldwings command serious money when new, but step into the used market and everything changes. Clean older examples from the late 1990s through the early 2000s regularly appear between roughly $4,500 and $10,000, offering luxury-level comfort for used cruiser money. Maintenance rarely feels punishing either. Shaft drive simplicity, widespread parts support, and Honda durability help keep ownership refreshingly stress-free. And if you want to support the channel even more, become a member for early access to the newest videos, behind-the-scenes research, and upcoming motorcycle countdowns before anyone else sees them. The Goldwing earned its reputation through unmatched comfort and mile-eating durability. But for some riders, all that luxury comes with one problem: complexity. Not everyone wants a massive touring machine packed with electronics and extra weight. Some riders still believe the ultimate forever bike should be simple, affordable, easy to fix, and built for absolutely anyone to own. And that's exactly why the next machine takes the final spot. Number 1, Honda Shadow 1100. And here we are, the motorcycle that may quietly represent the smartest long-term cruiser purchase ever built in Japan. The Honda Shadow 1100. Not flashy, not loud, not desperate for attention, just honest, dependable, and quietly brilliant. Because while other motorcycles chased image, chrome, or showroom excitement, the Shadow 1100 focused on something riders eventually learn matters far more: showing up every single time you ask it to. Turn the key, hit the starter, go ride. That simple rhythm is exactly why this motorcycle earned its reputation. At the center sits Honda's liquid-cooled 1100 cubic centimeters V-twin, engineered with the kind of conservative thinking that turns good motorcycles into lifetime companions. Strong low-end pull, controlled temperatures, and a wonderfully low-stress personality allow the engine to settle into thousands upon thousands of miles without feeling overworked. Add the shaft drive, and ownership becomes refreshingly uncomplicated. No chain mess, no constant adjustment, just predictable reliability. Talk to long-term owners. And the story sounds strangely similar. Motorcycles crossing mile counts that seem almost unreasonable while asking for a little more than fluids, tires, and basic care. And then comes the part that almost feels unfair. Even today, clean used Shadow 1100s regularly trade hands between roughly $2,500 and $5,500. For that money, many riders end up comparing rougher, higher maintenance alternatives that still cannot match the Honda's reputation for calm, affordable ownership. Some motorcycles disappear with time. Others quietly earn a reputation that never really fades. And every bike on this list proved that reliability does not have to come with a massive price tag. But we're far from done. The next video dives even deeper into the wild world of motorcycles that shocked the industry, crushed expectations, and built legendary reputations nobody saw coming. Click the next video and continue the road trip with us. Join the tribe by subscribing. And if you want early access to upcoming videos and deeper motorcycle content, become a member. And don't forget to like this video.